Hey, and thanks for clicking play. Today we're going to do a quick, and it will be fairly quick, just does it play video. I'm getting a bit bored of my Amiga. I'm not getting bored of the Amiga, but there are some games that I haven't yet played. And not that it's all about the channel, but I've wanted to put the first time I put the disc in the machine to be on video. That hasn't happened in its entirety, because obviously we tried some when I was with Lee in the UK. So that's what today is about, just getting through these so that I can actually feel free to play them. And it's a bit of a horrible experience because, well, to get into it, I'm not going to be testing these today. So Xenon 2. So Amiga format issue 3. Look, I really just wanted to repair this with, not repair it, although that may be an option in the future, but repair it with the magazine it came with, and I've done that. But it doesn't load. It gets to the initial load screen, and then once you get past that, after you click left mouse, it then just makes some horrible searching noises and doesn't actually load. So, you know, that doesn't load. Same thing goes for the issue 4 Amiga format cover disc. So at the end of the day, they were more of a, it would be nice to re-own them. If I can get them working again, then that's great. If not, then, you know, well, that's life. But I will give a go at cleaning those, and we'll come on to that story in a moment. So next, what have we got here? We've got, and I'm going to cover them in one foul swoop here, we've got the Tenstar games pack. Somebody's going to scream at me for putting these on top of the Amiga. Screw you. And so, unfortunately, none of these load. When I say none of them, there are some I haven't even tried because they're consistently bad, the ones that I do try. They make the most horrible grinding noises. When we were in the UK, we tried Barbarian first and foremost because Barbarian. And we also tried Thundercats because I thought Lee, I seem to recall Lee liking Thundercats. And neither of those loaded and made the most disgusting noises. And then we tried Mercenary, my theory being, well, not everybody really liked Mercenary, whereas it was one of my favourite games. And Mercenary actually loaded fine, but it still made some horrible grinding noises. So what I've done with all of these is I've actually cleaned them, and I was going to do a video on that. I did video some of the process of me cleaning while getting quite pissed on some Tennessee Fire whiskey. Sorry, just Barbarian. You have to just pull out that case every given moment. It hasn't worked. So isopropanol with a cotton bud, none of these are loading, and I'm not even going to put them, I'm not even going to try them, all because they're consistently bad, the ones that I have tried, and horrible noises. I don't want to wreck a good drive. You know, it's not my drive, because all of these and everything that came with the Batman pack, they're in squeaky clean condition. These work beautifully, not a problem at all. So here we go, Alien Breed. Disc 1, you've got a boot disc, and you've got disc 2. Lee and myself did play this in the UK, so this should load, no problems. Let's give it a go. And it was good to have a 2-player game to get cracking on. I'm using, there'll be a behind the scenes video on this. I'm using an LG panel now. It's not as crisp as using a CRT. I would argue it's not even as crisp as using a plasma, but from a recording point of view, and the plasma is fine as well, but it's just too big as a 50-inch. It's the one that sits behind me. From a recording point of view, as you can see, this looks beautiful. This looks absolutely great, versus, you know, the strobing that you guys were seeing on the other screen, on the CRT. I love the CRT to bits. It's currently in the garage with a Namco joystick plugged into it, because I've got some friends coming around on Friday to play pool and drink some beer and play darts and do all kinds of manly things, probably throw axes at each other or something. Maybe do some chainsaw tossing. I don't know what we'll get up to, but yeah, normal traditional Australian. Actually, I've got a set of horseshoes. Horseshoes is a game, and the guy that used to own this house used to make horseshoe sets, so I've actually got a horseshoe pit, because that's a thing, throwing horseshoes at poles. It's a thing you do. I don't do it very often. And here we go. Come on. If this now doesn't load, you're like, oh, are you serious? I can't remember if this one was advertised as tested and working, but as I say, me and Lee played it. Insert disc 2. She's very polite. And I might have to just throw up the volume, not throw up, but throw up the volume. So this screen, if you don't bother to watch the behind the scenes, oh, and press fire. Sorry, wasting time that doesn't need to be wasted. There we go. There it is. So that loads. I'm not gonna play it now. Just make sure it actually loads into a level, because that's what I consider to be working. Because obviously it's looking for different parts of the disc that it hasn't looked at until this point, until it actually gets into a level. Yeah, I can't remember if the seller sold it as tested and working. The screen, yeah, in case you don't watch the behind the scenes, is basically one I picked up for $50, and it's a TV/monitor, so it's working absolutely fine. I did think it was blurry, which I did say in that behind the scenes video, but that's actually because the background image that I was using was now overstretched across the 2 monitors. Once I rectified that, it was fine. There we go, Alien Breed works, beautiful. Oh, I don't remember that noise. So I'm going to leave this one till last. I'm going to leave Lotus till last, because I bought this last year and I haven't played it for a whole year other than in emulation. So instead, what we're going to go into is the Star Wars trilogy. You've already seen inside the box of what's inside this. So we're going to go through these. Now, you've already seen me load Star Wars, I think, at some point, but so we'll go through each of them very quickly. Oh, don't put them in yet, Chris. Turn the Miggy on. It's nice to be able to sit the Miggy on my desk. Why am I calling it a Miggy? That's just something I've picked up online by people that call things cutie names, which is fine, you know, if you're into that. It's an Amiga. Miggy's a pretty cool name. Specky. What do you call a Commodore 64? A commie? Communist. Okay, oh no, we don't have to do anything there, that's fine. I'm dreading any that require me to use the mouse. Look at the F-18 Interceptor video for how fun my mouse is at the moment. The mouse, I mean, I will get there in repairing that. There are several steps I've done so far, including trying to reflow the connectors to the photo transistors. I even bought some more photo transistors, but I just bought whatever the ones they had in the shop that I went to. In fact, I've got them here, and they're just too big. They're only like $3, but there's never going to fit in there. So the search continues. All right, just trying to focus on, here we go. This loads, that's good. And that was nice and quiet. Pull trigger to start. Yes, I'm pulling the trigger to start. We'll wait for info. Oh, I have to select F2, otherwise it is mouse. And then I have to hit F3 because inverted is the correct way. And then we, I don't like it inverted, only because I've played it so many times uninverted. This is Steve Benway's favourite arcade game, by the way. I'm sure you knew that, because if you've watched his channel, you would know that, because it gets mentioned every episode, I think. Not every episode, really, but it does get mentioned lots. Empire Strikes Back. Does it load? And of course, if you want information on Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and how they were the same arcade cabinet, but they just swapped out the ROMs, Steve Benway does some great chatter about that on one of his videos as well. So do feel free to look that up. Really good channel, Steve's. Can't go on to what channels are good because then I have to say a lot and then I'll miss some. I'm going to do a separate video on that kind of thing. So. Right, F1 toggles mouse and joystick, F3, same kind of thing. Pull trigger, is it joystick? Nope. F1 toggles joystick, so they've changed that. Well, it loaded. It did load. But the keen-eyed among you will have spotted that I now have... So the game's loaded, but I suddenly now have the caps lock flashing light issue, so I wonder if F1 had stopped working. Let's try that again. Oh, very annoying. And you can see it flashing there. Can you see that? If I zoom in there... So I've just done a soft reset. There it is. That hadn't come back all day yesterday when I've been playing about. So what seems to introduce it actually is a number of hardware resets. Hard resets, which is interesting. F1 toggles mouse joystick. Right, all right, I'm just going to hit the mouse and yes, fine. I can't play it, but it loads. Does it load? Yes, it loads. Okay guys, sorry about that. My phone ran out of storage, which is fine because I think I needed to give things a bit of a break anyway. The caps lock on the Amiga is now stopped after I've switched it off, left it for a bit and now turned it back on again. So that's good. That's what I was about to try. And off camera, it didn't really load. Let's see what it does now. Now that the computer's behaving a bit better, let's see what that does. Let's see if the caps lock light flash comes back after a software reset as well. I'm gonna go software reset now. So this was going to some, I almost thought it was a crack try. I thought I'd picked up, here we go. Thought I'd picked up a pirated copy or something. So this is Return of the Jedi. Ah, this will be a real bummer if this doesn't work. The other two work, so I don't need to move one disc to find, but I've got to find a single white disc Return of the Jedi from a broken up trilogy pack. So that's... No. Nope. And before I did at least get some of the music. Nope, that is not happy. These are all 30 odd years old, so that's that. You know, that's the reality of it. I go into these things with no delusions. What do you mean it doesn't work? Actually, it would be nice if they all just did work. But they don't. Right, now. Captive, does it work? Well, it did in the UK. When Lee gave it to me. Oh, I forgot I've got another game hidden in here. Shadow of the Beast 2. I forgot that was in there. That needs to be out now. Everything's coming out. Everything is not coming out, but not sitting away in boxes. I got my original cables and stuff still sitting in the Batman pack box, so that's good. I won't be able to play this. Ah, that music. I used to listen to this for hours. But that's not what we're here to do. And the load screen, I used to look at the load screen, and now it's one of those load screens that you look at. And it's a beautiful image. The people, I was never very good at drawing characters, and I look at those characters and think, it's almost how I would have drawn them. So, you know, it's still great artwork, but it's one of those interesting of graphic. Right, so there we go. That seems to be loading, and I expected it to. And the great thing about this is Lee's original copy, and I know he played this to death. And it's been sitting in his parents' loft for 30 odd years, and then he rebought an Amiga not too long ago and used it again. So the fact that that works is amazing. That really is amazing. Right, so that's that. Shadow the Beast, so that's another one Lee gave me. 2 discs. Ah, Shadow the Beast. Disc 1, disc 2. Does it load? Makes a loud farty noise. And the shadow and the beast on the other screen is watching to see if his great ancestor will load. Shadow the Beast, so I had this first and foremost on a pirated copy, I dare say, made by Xcopy, and sometimes it would load but not very often. So I spent more time watching the intro to this game than playing the game itself, until my nephew got his Screen Gems pack, and then he obviously got it legit, and I would keep borrowing his copy of Shadow of the Beast 2. This is Shadow of the Beast 2, obviously. Shadow of the Beast on PS4. I was about to pull out the box, but of course I don't have it on box because it was digital only. But I highly recommend it. Shadow of the Beast on PS4, the remake, and it comes with the original classic emulated inside it. You have to unlock that. Yeah, watch this intro over and over again. This bit always looked like it was coloured in with pencil. It's all a bit weird, the way they've done the shading there. Not that I could do any better, obviously. Does it load? This one will take quite a while to see if it loads. But you're glad I skipped the Tenstar Games pack, eh? Here we go, swoops in. So I really just wanted, these aren't playthroughs today. I'm not going to do a play and a memory of each game, proper memory of each game. It's just literally, these are the discs that I've got at the moment. Do they load? Just to explain what I'm aiming for here. I'm just having to remind myself because it's very easy to get caught up in what you're doing. Now obviously disc 1 seems fine, but is disc 2? And notice, see, these discs are fine, they all sound fine, whereas the ones that don't work, like, yeah, they're just hideous noises. Where I had to just clear space off my phone, I did actually just get rid of some of the footage that I took, because I don't, there's other channels, I'll press file. There's other channels that go on about how to do stuff, how to clean stuff, what a bad disc sounds like and stuff like that. So, so I just deleted that footage to clear up the space on my phone for this footage, because this is more about my actual collection rather than about how-tos. So the only one I'm really sort of still following is I know Lee loved this bit of music. We were both big fans of Shadow of the Beast 1 and 2. I never got to play 3, I don't know if Lee did. The music is just so awesome. It's not what it's about today, Chris. Just see if it loads. Just get into the game. Once it's in the game, I consider that as loaded. Yep, we're in the game. That loads. Good. Thank you so much, Lee, for those games, because those are awesome, and more so because I know what they mean. And let's see if it plays. I mean, well, it's unavoidable to not show you what's in the box. It's got the full manual. This is why I picked this up. I knew the box was in bad shape, and I've just crushed the box. But it's got the full manual. It's got the technical supplement. That's all there. We've got discs A and B, so let's throw in disc A while I rabbit on. This is the first time I put this in, so I may quickly abandon this if it makes horrible noises. F19 Stealth Fighter, Microprose, who were probably one of my favourite publishers because I was so into these kind of games. It's got the maps. I won't fully unfold them. We will go joystick because my mouse doesn't work. Analog joystick. I did eventually get an analog joystick. That's another story. And I played with that more with Stealth Fighter 2, which had the F1917A in it. But that's another story. This still has the keyboard overlay untouched. So I think my plan is to photocopy this if I can, because I don't want to wreck this original. Photocopy this so that I can cut it out. I'm not going to cut this one out. But there it is, F19 Stealth Fighter keyboard overlay. Fantastic. How does that work? Oh, Amiga 500, okay. Yeah. And some promotional stuff, still in a copy of Ace magazine and a warranty card. And you know what? This is where you can't tell. Look, these, apart from the fact they got cracked in transit, look fine. None of them play. The discs sound absolutely hideous. This, the box is munted, which is probably why everybody was ignoring it on eBay. But what's the important thing? It loads. It freaking loads. There you go. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge an Amiga game on eBay by the condition of its box. And the annoying thing is, he says it's loads, made massive farts noise. Okay, here we go. Choose aircraft, then press selector. Aircraft identification. Oh, you had to do that from the manual. I'm not going to go into that now. Well, I should know what that is anyway. That looks like an F-15. F-15 is not on the list. Is it an F-15? I'm going to go F-15 if it's the American. It could be one of the MiGs that looks similar. But that to me looks like an F-15. Correct identification. See, I don't even need... Insert roster disk in drive A. I don't... To make a new roster disk, insert any blank formatted disk. What I'm going to do is just make sure, okay, the disk is write protected, so I'm just going to press any key. Hopefully it won't try and write to the disk. Okay, we're good. Because I want to see if it gets into the game. Choose a pilot for the next mission. Major Tim. Oh, he's killed in action. These are all dead. You can't write to the disk, so that's fine. Yes, we accept the assignment. Because there's a disk B here, so at the end of the day, I want to make sure the game actually loads. This isn't a full test at the moment. In fact, the drive light's flashing. Well, there's only one thing I can do. It's a weird way of doing it. While that's doing that, I'm just going to put these back in here. Exit briefing room. Ah, so you do get the F117 in this version. So maybe this was the version I had. Because I certainly remember this kind of cover art, but I remember being able to fly the F117. And I remember in it's not about the game, we'll do that another time. Yes, all the things. Yes, and yes. I just want to get into the game. Look, I'm going to take this as this is working. Otherwise, this is going to be a whole video just about this game. It hasn't come up with an issue yet, and we're quite a way into. Unless, is there a quick arming complete? There we go. Begin mission. Okay. I have no fuel, I don't think, and I have no weapons. Let's make sure it gets into the game. Really, we've got into a menu. That's part of the game. I mean, it's all part of the strategy, arming your plane and everything. Yeah, I distinctly remember this, but I also remember being able to play as the F117. What would tell me if it was the same version is, I used to read these avidly. And there was a whole section about how the F117 was used by Israel in a raid against, before they were public knowledge, in a raid against a nuclear base somewhere else in the Middle East, of course. Nuclear bunker. I don't see that in there. I don't see anything about the F117, so I think I have both versions of this game, to be honest. Oh, there we go, and carrier takeoff. Right, that's in the game, and I'm actually really pleased with that. Like I said, that was £3 plus £3 postage. The lady did take a week to actually bother to put it in the post, but at the end of the day, I got it there. It looked like it had been used as a football. I was out the day it arrived, and my dad rang me and said, "You've got a parcel, but it looks like it's been used as a football in the rain." So. Anyway, that works. We're on to the last one, aren't we? We are on to the last one. I bought this a year ago. Does this load after a year? Now, why is this so important? This was one of my all-time favourite games. There you go, all the booklets there and everything. But again, this is not about the game. I'll tell that story the day we actually play it. But just to know, I really want this to work. I really want this to work, and I'm not saying that for the purposes of this video. Waited a year to find out if this will work. Love cars, love driving. Fantastic. Right, please load all the way. Please load all the way. Fantastic music. This is fantastic. This appears to have loaded. Let's wait till it gets in. I'll do a separate video on this game and what I liked about it. And have a really, well, I think it's fun. Well, it's not about the game, so I'm not playing it now, much as I want to. But I'm glad that that loads, because do you know what? Now, and this is what this video is really about, I want to start playing with some of this stuff. So I just wanted you to be part of the first try of a lot of these discs. So sorry if this video is a bit long for some of you. Feel free to skip through it. Maybe I'll time code each game trial in the description. I'll probably do that once I've butted these together and uploaded it. But now I can go and play these games. That's all this was about, so that I'm free to play these games. Shame those that don't load, so let's quickly recap what doesn't load. The whole Tenstar games pack is kaput in my view, so that's a shame. These cover discs, they're kaput, but you know, meh. Would have been nice to see the load screens up. Captive loads, that's brilliant. So the only pain with captive is the fact that my mouse still has issues, so I can't play it. Lotus Turbo Esprit, that's going to get some heavy play. Alien Breed, that's going to get some heavy play. Shadow of the Beast, that's going to get some heavy play. I prefer to play through Shadow of the Beast 1 first, but you know, and and I think the surprise for me today is this. That seemed to load flawlessly, and everything that's in the box. That's why I grabbed that one. Fantastic. So there we go. £3. 3 flipping quid. Beautiful. All right. Thank you guys.